Okay, so we can do a cold start and driving video of this 2002 Toyota Tacoma with only 44,000 miles and just coming from the Toyota dealer where it got a service and an inspection and a clean bill of health. There's not going to be anything too surprising in this video. However, we can at least just verify that it has starts and stops, has no drivability issues. There's no undue, tire noise or bearing whine or anything from the drivetrain, and that the electrical components function correctly. There's no check engine lights. The temperatures stay where they should, etc., etc. So I'll fire up the car. Aiden can go film what doesn't come out of the tailpipe, and then we can open the hood. We'll look at, we'll put the microphone next to the engine, and we'll go look at the inside the cab, in the instrument cluster, etc. And we'll fire it up. Now showing 44,684 kilometers. And yeah, it runs perfectly as you'd expect. And we'll walk around to the front of the engine. Okay, so I can get the mic and I can put it next to the left-hand bank of cylinders. And the right-hand bank of cylinders. And the front of the engine. Top of the engine. So there's no issues here. It's perfectly smooth and runs just like a new vehicle. Okay, so we're in the vehicle. We have a little bit of temperature. We have the idle at 1200 RPM or so, which will settle once it warms up. Okay, so we have the climate control, the blower motor, which doesn't have any squeaks. We have the AC, which blows perfectly cold. There's no issues there. The radio works. There's not too much in here. The handbrake works and releases. Sometimes those don't get used for a long time, and they stick. We've got a cigarette lighter that has never been used. And the clock works, so nothing too exceptional here. Windows all go up and down. Power door locks work. Wipers, signal lights work. Wipers, oh, it's the headlights, they work. And the wiper squirters are all correctly aimed and they work. Okay, so transmission shifts correctly. I've driven this vehicle several times. There's no issues with it, but we'll just go out and demonstrate that. They're aftermarket wheels and larger sort of knobby tires, but there's no excessive road noise or tire whine, and there's no vibration from the brakes from warped rotors. So everything there works as it should. I was actually surprised the tires were as quiet as they were, given the way they look. Okay, so let's just start with the four-wheel drive system. I'm in H2, and I'm going straight ahead in the dry. Okay, so that's high range two-wheel drive. If I stop it, I want to go into, put this in neutral and go into H4, and now I put it in drive. So I'm in high four-wheel drive. The light on the dash comes up saying I'm in four-wheel drive, okay? And then if I want to go into low 4, I'll put it in neutral. And now I'm in drive in low 4, and the low range transfer box is being engaged. Okay, so you can feel that. So all that works correctly. I'm on dry roads here, so I wouldn't want to turn the wheel. But I can put this back in neutral, and I am going into high two-wheel drive, back into drive, and so now I'm back to the operation, two-wheel drive, high range on the pavement. Okay. So all that operates perfectly. There's no undue whine or clunking getting into or out of the low range transfer box. Okay, so the shifting is crisp. There's no drivability issues with the engine. I have no issue with, like I said, pulsation from the brakes. There's no play in the steering. The car doesn't, or the truck doesn't pull to one side or the other. And we'll just run the car up to highway speeds here. This is the larger engine variant, 3.4 liter twin cam, 4-valve per cylinder engine. And it actually handles pretty tidy. I mean, you know it's a truck, but you know it doesn't feel like it's been compromised at all by the lift kit or the suspension modifications. And so, you know, it rides well, absorbs the bumps well, no knocking or clunking from any of the suspension pieces. It's compliant, it's reasonably comfortable. You know, absolutely doesn't lose anything as far as a day-to-day driver goes. So the truck downshifts, revs, brakes in a straight line, predictably. The handling is tidy, steering is sharp. There's no play in the steering. There's, well, basically no running, drivability, braking, steering issues at all. It drives like a new truck. Okay, so this is a bit of road that's pretty rough. A lot of big trucks are in this industrial area, and so the ride and handling of the truck is excellent. You know, the directional stability is good. The suspension soaks up the bumps nicely. It's still refined. You don't get any sort of weird bump steer or any sort of unusual body movements from the fact that the truck is slightly lifted. I mean, this driving video is not going to be too much of a surprise to anybody. We've got a fully documented Tacoma. It's been on bat a couple of times. It's been dealer serviced, including 30 kilometers ago. It just got out of the Toyota dealer and given a clean bill of health. So there's reason not to expect any surprises. But we did, verify that the transfer box, all-wheel drive systems all function perfectly. There's no warning lights on the car, and this Tacoma does behave perfectly, as you would expect. A fully documented dealer service, 44,000 mile Tacoma to be. Okay. So with that, we will return this vehicle to Lugnuts and then wait out the end of the auction, which should have some spirited bidding, we expect. Thank you very much. Romanosky from Calgary, Canada.